Do sports drinks actually make you better at sports? Boy, do I hope so.
Can you throw me a drink, please? Thanks.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the channel that's not gonna use Gatorade's tagline for this opening joke. But let me tell you, I am in pain. A couple days ago, a bunch of my friends down here in Miami asked me if I wanted to join them for some soccer. And you know me, I ain't want to back down from a challenge, even if it has been a few years since I laced up my cleats. Those fools needed to be put in their place after all. And of course, I killed it. I was feeling great, on top of the world even, until I woke up. Ordinarily, I'd consider that a pretty fair trade. One sore morning in exchange for showing my friends that Santi still got it. I'd make that deal every day of the week. But that's the problem, because this game, it's a regular weekly thing. And man, I just don't know if I have that in me anymore. Even in my prime, I would cramp up from a few sprints. Is it time for me to admit that I'm getting older? And so I sat there in bed, writhing in pain, about to shoot my friends a text saying I can't go next week, when I remembered the GOATs. Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls, including his last one at 43, and Messi, the other Argentinian legend, delivered Argentina's first World Cup win since 1986 at age 35. And even at 38, he's still killing it at Inter Miami. If the GOATs didn't let Father Time keep them down, then why should I? And so I have to find a way to ditch the cramps and get my mind and body into peak physical shape. But in order to do that, I'm gonna need some help. Some hydration help from these guys. In order to get pitch perfect, #bars, that's a double entendre, I'm gonna be trying out all of the most popular sports drinks, from the classic brands to influencer products and even Messi's very own drink. I'm pitting these drinks head to head to see which gives me that competitive advantage and protects my hammy so that I don't embarrass myself when I lace up to the field next time. Here's the plan. Each day is game day, split into 2 halves. First half, nothing. No drinks, no water, just me and my body slowly remembering it's 31. Then at halftime, I can drink as much of the drink of the day as I desire, whatever it takes to get me going again. Then in the second half, I'm gonna run the same challenges again, except this time if I need a drink, I can have as much as I'd like. We'll then collect the data on how I did in the second half to see how our sports drinks improved or didn't improve my performance. I'll be looking for 3 things. 1, will it stop me from cramping up? This is a must and sort of a bare minimum. 2, how does it make me feel? Might sound similar, but if it feels like I have a gallon and a half of liquid sloshing around while I run, I'm gonna have a bad time. And finally, will it actually help in keeping my times and scores similar or even better than the first round? Sure, these brands all talk about their sugar levels, electrolytes, potassium, minerals, and all that jazz, but it doesn't mean squat if they don't actually help me perform. I mean, look at these commercials.
Scientifically designed to hydrate better than water.
To help you on your journey to greatness.
They even got Kendrick doing push-ups for like hours. So I'm taking them at face value. Will these sports drinks actually make me better at my sport or just have me feeling pain? And here's the thing, regardless of whether or not these drinks do help me be better at the sports I like to play, I'm gonna need to actually recover in between these hot days of running at the park. Best way to do that? Sleep. And nothing helps me sleep better than today's sponsor, Helix Sleep. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is the best mattress I've had ever. We had the pleasure of working with Helix Sleep before, and ever since I took that sleep quiz to find the perfect mattress for me, I've canceled more plans than ever before because I haven't wanted to get out of bed. Brunch? Movie premiere? Ha! Tom getting ripped apart by a pack of hyena? Yeah, okay, I'd get out of bed for that one. But seriously, I had pretty bad back problems for a long time, especially because my older mattress sank in the middle and had me and my wife waking up in a hole. A sweat-filled hole because she turns into the Human Torch when she's asleep. But with our Midnight Luxe mattress, we both wake up refreshed and happy. Only thing this mattress can't fix is her talking in her sleep. It's bad, please help. But not before you get your own at helixsleep.com/thefoodtheorists. Thank you again, Helix Sleep, for sponsoring today's episode. Visit helixsleep.com/thefoodtheorists to take advantage of their Labor Day sale exclusive partner offer, 27% off site-wide. Now, let's run and sweat in the heat while I leave my bed. The mini little combine I've created for myself will consist of a 2-lap run around the track, a 40-yard dash, an agility ladder exercise, a reaction test, and since my sport is soccer/football, I'll be doing a fun little shooting accuracy accuracy drill. A goal in the general middle of the net will get me 1 point. Top corners will bag me 3, bottom corners 2, and the posts a measly 0.5. I'll have 5 shots to accumulate the most points I can. While past me suffers in the relentless, nightmarish humidity of Miami in the summer,
It's gonna be a long day.
let's talk about what sports drinks actually are and how they even got that moniker to begin with. When we talk about sports drinks, most people will default to Gatorade since it's the first sports drink, right? Kinda. See, there was actually a predecessor, one that folks in the UK should be fairly familiar with, Lucozade. It launched way back in 1927, a full 40 years before Gatorade hit the market. Gatorade gets all the glory on kind of a technicality. See, Lucozade wasn't sold as a sports drink. It was sold as a medicinal drink for people that needed a quick hit of glucose and fluids when they were sick. Gatorade was the pioneer of the sports drink because it was created for athletes and their performance. Hence the name, actually. Fun fact, it was all because they were asking themselves why football players weren't peeing after games. It wasn't until the 80s that Lucozade realized they could be making boatloads more money following Gatorade's lead and rebranded. It's still massively popular in the UK, but Gatorade had too much of a head start for Lucozade to stand a chance anywhere else. Speaking of standing a chance, the 40-yard dash? Not my friend. What you're seeing there is a stiff 5.8 seconds. Don't know how much Lucozade would have helped, but my second round after Gatorade went down to 5.37. Something I'm honestly shocked by, especially considering this was almost an hour after the first sprint. That's Gatorade for you, I guess. The OG and reigning king with 61.6% of the sports drink market share. It's been the shower of victorious coaches all across sports for decades. 140 calories in a 20-ounce bottle, 270 milligrams of sodium, 80 of potassium. Basically, carbs and salt, exactly what's lost in sweat. So theoretically, perfect for recovery. But is that what sports drinks are made for? A post-game recovery drink? Well, no, not originally at least. It was definitely made for a during sort of thing. Gatorade was made in 1965 by the University of Florida for their football team, the Gators. Boo, UF. I'm all about the U, but yay for keeping people alive in the summer heat. Kind of.
I also feel my mouth so dried out. It takes energy to swallow. Shut up.
Like I mentioned, the coach at the time wanted to know why his players weren't peeing after games. He recalled his own days playing as a pro and losing up to 18 pounds per game and asked the resident kidney specialist Robert Cade for his advice. They figured it out and started testing it on the freshman team. Coach had faith, but not tested on your A-team faith. Their test was actually pretty much the same as mine, except instead of the exercises I'm subjecting myself to,
This is already horrible.
they put their freshmen against the B team. I told you, faith, but not tested on your A-team faith. By the end of the first half, the B team was ahead 13 points. But after being given the Gatorade prototype, the freshmen came back in the second half and scored 7 touchdowns on the exhausted B team. The coach was so astonished, he made them get a giant batch ready for a big game the next day. This was close to my experience too. When it came to my run, after drinking Gatorade, I actually beat my initial time, even if I didn't feel that great afterwards.
I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news is I'm staying hydrated. The bad news is feeling a little crampy in the groin area. I've been like trying to stretch in between, but I think this sprint might just be the death of me.
So at least in the early days, sports drinks definitely look to actually make you better at sports, at least performing in them. As for me, well, let's just say in the first half, I felt like my legs had been replaced with 2 sacks of wet laundry. Post Gatorade, I got a bit more of a spring in my step. And this is where I would show you more clips, if I had any. Yeah. Unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, we lost about 2 days worth of footage from this episode and couldn't get it back. But it's okay, we'll power through. So why did sports drinks become the go-to over plain old water? Simply put, because of the electrolytes. We've covered electrolytes in episodes before, but basically they help your body regulate chemical reactions. All over. Nervous system, pH levels, muscle contractions, all of that kept in check thanks to electrolytes. One of the most important electrolytes, sodium. In fact, a study done in 2015 showed that triathletes who adequately replaced their lost sodium during a race finished an average of 26 minutes faster than those who didn't. Both Powerade and Gatorade are high in sodium, which makes sense as 2 of the most popular sports drinks out there. But when it comes to performance in sports and sporting better, sporting good, there's another obstacle athletes face: cramping. Like I mentioned, I'm a big cramper. Don't know why, but I've always struggled with it. And you often see athletes in long-running sports like soccer, American football, or rugby buckle over in the late minutes of their games. When it comes to cramps, sodium is important, but there's another electrolyte that's equally important: potassium. Something that both Gatorade and Powerade have fairly little of, as I learned the hard way.
Oh, my butt's cramping. Legit, my butt's cramping. Oh my God. My butt's cramping.
In case it wasn't clear, my butt was cramping. The third most popular sports drink out there, Body Armor, also owned by Coke, actually has a much lower amount of sodium compared to the other two and focuses on potassium, 860 milligrams of it, with just 35 milligrams sodium, plus magnesium and zinc. The logic being, Americans get plenty of sodium already, so potassium replenishment might matter more. Prime is also potassium forward, about 828 milligrams in a scaled 20-ounce serving. But unlike Body Armor, it has very little sodium. At least for me, the potassium must have been the secret ingredient, because for neither of those two did I cramp up. And when it came to Body Armor, I was feeling light as a feather. Look at me bounce!
Look at this. Look how bouncy. Look at me bounce. Look at me bounce. That's really bad for my running form. I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Problem is, it tasted horrible. Like, horrible.
This is gonna be rough. Here's the thing. The Body Armor gave me like a taste of vomit in my mouth.
Yeah, not the best for when you're trying to be an athlete. But we don't care about tasting vomit here. We care about performance.
No! Overall, I'm feeling good. Definitely feeling energetic, definitely feeling light. I think that's the difference. My muscles feel like they've gotten what they need. You know what it is? It's a bandage. My muscles feel good. I'm still very clearly tired, but my muscles feel good. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to run another lap. I'm not going to. My toe hurts.
And zero cramps. But there's one other ingredient that we need to talk about that both Prime and Massa have almost none of: sugar. They're both low calorie and low sugar, which is something a lot of people are looking for in their drinks these days. And both focus on spreading out the electrolytes to calcium, magnesium, and zinc as well, as opposed to just sodium and potassium. Massa does the best job of spreading the love. Significant amounts of potassium, calcium, sodium, magnesium, and zinc. The only 5 electrolyte drink in the mix, actually. With both Prime and Massa, I felt way better after drinking them. I didn't feel heavy or bogged down like I did with the higher calorie drinks. And that alone helped me get through my laps and sprints better, even though the numbers stayed relatively inconsistent. And here's the kicker. Research suggests that sports drinks aren't really the best for people. The most important thing is staying hydrated, and water is pretty much the reigning champ. Even in my case, despite Body Armor seeming like the winner by making my sprint times go down by a whopping 22% and my lap time go down by a full 4 seconds, in almost every other instance, my numbers were inconsistent at best. Powerade and Gatorade made me feel the worst, with Powerade being a clear loser for me because of the previously seen butt cramps. But as far as a winner goes, there isn't a clear one. The inconsistent results would point to Body Armor, but the experience points more towards Massa, though that's solely because I preferred the taste. That's completely subjective and might not apply to you. So do sports drinks not actually help you be better at sports? Well, yes and no. See, they don't help us be better at sports. By us, I mean you and me, regular people. Sports drinks were designed to help athletes perform better, and the research looking at them shows that they do. When it comes to normal people, we just don't train long, hard, or intense enough to really need a sports drink. At the end of the day, water is all we need, but a nice flavored sweet drink on a hot day may help give a nice mental boost like the Prime or Massa did for me. But that's all it is, a mental boost. It's not really helping performance. As for athletes, they're pushing their bodies to the limit on the field and during training. Especially during longer instances of intense exercise, sports drinks are shown to be more effective in rehydration because those athletes do lose significant amounts of electrolytes and sugar, even though I was pushing myself hard. And sweating profusely, a normal person like me doesn't quite stack up to the elite level of Messi or Brady or other athletes. At the end of the day, they really are just built different. In the end, the winner here isn't about crowning some absolute best. It's about knowing what each does and choosing the one that works for your body, your game, and maybe just your taste buds. For me, I'll stick to water and whatever tastes best when I'm hot and sweaty. And if I cramp up anyway, at least I'll look good doing it. Messi jersey and all. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Buen provecho. And hey, are we drinking too much water? Make sure to click the link on the screen now to find out more. And as always, I'll see you next week.